blog coming to you guys tonight because so many of you had questions and topics. You've been emailing me left and right about the trucking downturn. Erica, how's your business going since the trucking downturn? I said it's going great. Folks don't realize I keep telling them don't believe the hype. Now, key point on all this, sorry, I had to wash my hair. You know, this casino smoke got in my hair and I about got nauseous, y'all. So I had to stop what I was doing and wash my hair. So we got fresh hair, fresh clothes. Now we can sit here in peace because earlier I was about to be like, ugh. So I'm going to go over some of the things you guys are seeing on the internet. Hope there's plenty of light here. Got lights going all over the place. But yeah, let's go ahead and knock some of this out because I'm literally going article by article. I wonder if I can share my screen. That'd be so great if I could, but I highly doubt it. And I'll go over each. No, it ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work like I wanted to. Cancel that. What about this? No, it ain't gonna let me do that either. You know, I be wanting to do some cool. Yeah, these older casinos are worse. Like I looked at my room, I was like, this room should be a little bit better than it is. So anyway, but it's actually because right now we have the rodeo finals out here. So I got my cowboy boots. I'm ready to turn up. Then I'm gonna stop by you got the cannabis casino going on at the same time. It's madness out here. And I honestly don't know how Las Vegas is going to make it with the football stadium. Like I drove by it, it's a behemoth. It's going to be absolutely madness. So come in, drop your city and state. Whoo! All right, you guys. So I definitely want to go ahead and get you started on this because some people are going to come in later than others. And the first things first, you know, if you go on, and I'm going to break it down how I want to say it, and then I'll go over each article that I keep bringing up. Trucking ain't going nowhere. I know, but the news, Erica, the news. And again, I do this not to be a jerk, but there are people who deeply read the news and people who see headlines. Like all these headlines keep saying, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you, boo. I hear you, sirs, who email me all the time. But again, your city will shut down tomorrow if for the next 4 days no truck comes into it. I'm talking about local driver, over the road driver, gas, bread, water. Well, look at what happens every time there's a threat of a hurricane or a tornado or a snowstorm. You go to the store and what happens? There's no bread, there's no water, there's no milk. Y'all don't understand that the average grocery store only has 72 hours, if that, of food. That's it. That's it. That's it. And so your average gas station, they run out all the time. I don't know if you've ever seen right before a hurricane, it'll be row after row of gas stations with no gas. Do you know what I'm saying? And so everything, and the reason, and I'm gonna bring this back again only because the movie I Paint Houses, aka The Irishman, came out recently. The reason Jimmy Hoffa was such a threat is because at the time, if you were not a white collar guy, you weren't a made man 5, kind of guy in 1950s, you were driving a truck or doing something, fixing a truck or delivering meat or doing something with your hands. And trucking was, even though it had a stigma on it, they were making money. And Jimmy Hoffa was in power. And if it was so crazy, he could have been all made up to the White House. That's how powerful he was. And people overlook that and try to, oh, Erica, he wasn't that powerful. You don't understand. Union money was powerful back then. Plus the muscle of the mafia, homeboy was one of the most powerful people around. Now, why does this all matter, right? Because for a long time, trucking companies made sure to take care of drivers. Driver retention was a really big thing. Right now, driver retention is at an all-time lows, right? Yeah, long hair, don't care. This is what it looked like when I first came out of the shower. So it just, when it air dries, it air dries. I ain't blow drying it tonight. Ain't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. It's late. Exactly. They will disregard trucking laws for the trucks that come in when the disaster strike. Exactly, Chris Lee TV. And the reason you hear a lot of young guys go, well, I tried trucking and I quit. And you ask them how long they were driving, like a year and a half, or they were a local driver. You're like, you won't make no money, no way. You were over the road. The first 2 years, the insurance company is kicking out, making us pay as owners out the nose for truck drivers. Okay. Now, with that all being said, talking about driver retention, some of the things you saw this year was, the driving jobs. You had two different things happening. You had foreign drivers coming in. Again, I told y'all in my original video, if you go back, you had over 30,000 Sikh Indians come into an industry in 2 years, 2017 and 2018, 15,000 on the dot each year like clockwork. Okay. Then you got, I'm in Texas, and Hispanic families is running it. You can see Nick Taylor talk about in his video how a whole family, man, black, wife, Hispanic, kids, half Hispanic, they all up in it, all in the trucking. And that's not uncommon here. That's really, really, really not uncommon. Okay. Now, part of that too is truckers are notoriously known for making high amount of income and blowing it. Because 90% of the people in the trucking industry came straight out of high school. Straight out of high school. What they need to save money for, right? They don't think about it like that. But I remember, that's because I know a lot of truckers. You go over their house, they got TVs in every room, they got shoes, they got clothes, they got stuff. In parts of North Carolina, they would own a trailer. You know what I'm saying? And trailers can be cheap and can be expensive depending on where you're at, modular home or trailer. On an acre of land. That's very common in North Carolina, South Carolina. Meet a black man or a white man with an acre of land and a trailer on it, in a car, and a house full of TVs, and he on the road driving. Okay, you're talking about a career where they can make $100,000 a year, no degree. It just was what it was. Okay, now, so you got this combination of people coming in, new foreigners, however you want to say it, coming into trucking in huge numbers. You got them switching to the hair analysis. Now, many men been in the comments like, Erica, everybody ain't doing hair tests. Okay, we hear you, Otis. But I'm just telling you, as an owner operator, when I did calls around for 112 companies to see which company I wanted to roll with, everybody was doing hair tests. It was an easy way to get a lot of people out of the industry. Like, peace out. Now, you as a person, as a man, as a family member, are you going to go home and tell your family you couldn't pass a P test? Nah, you know what you're going to tell them? Trucking is in a downturn. Oh, ain't no jobs out here. You're not going to tell them that you could not pass multiple hair tests at multiple companies. You'll never say that. Or you'll take a local job and then complain about the local job pay. I've personally seen this. I had to turn away. I didn't turn away. They turned themselves away, honestly. 40 veterans, black and white, who were like, Miss Erica, I cannot pass the hair test. Thank you for the job offer. No, thank you. Peace out. Because if they refuse, it goes on their record of refusing taking a particular drug test. So that's another part of it. Another component is, who do you have dispatching? Okay. So a lot of your dispatchers are working in other countries. And I'll just give an example for the third party company I work with. They're from Ukraine and the country above that. You have Ukraine, Montenegro. What's the next one? Koto. It's a couple different countries in that side place. Thank you, Andre Hatchett, for the $5 super chat, starting it off right. And so, who's controlling it? Again, this all comes back to the owner be owned. When I started calling around, a lot of the companies would be Middle Eastern, Ethiopian, Liberian, Moroccan. They'd be all these other countries. They'd be from Switzerland, all this stuff. And I'd call and I'd be like, are you the dispatcher? Oh yeah, I have a team of dispatchers here. What's up? What's your company? And you realize who's moving the moving parts, right? You're on the front end. Like, if I could do this, I wish I could use my diagram. If you look at the front end of something, the front end is the driver. That's black guys, white guys on average, foreigners coming in driving. But you keep going back in the back part of the office where the bigger money's being made, as in repairing trucks, a lot of white guys. Then dispatching, a lot of Middle Easterns, a lot of foreigners. Then you go on the other side, who's financing these trucks? Again, another one, more Middle Eastern people. You didn't even go further back. Again, pay attention, okay, to who's in the back part of these offices. Another thing somebody said, that makes sense, and I'm trying to tie it in for you. When everybody's wholesaling, who's your buyers? Who's buying? Those are the people with the money, okay? So those people can make the decisions, okay? So you have a multiple thing happening. Now you see companies go under. Now, does anybody know what Bain Capital is? If you know what Bain Capital is, put a 1 in the comments. If not, I'm gonna have to go through what Bain Capital is, and I kind of have a feeling I'm gonna have to do it anyway. Put a 1 in the comments if you know what Bain Capital is. Why are drivers doing drugs? Why are people do anything? Why do people drink? Why do people smoke? And then, they know they got to drive, Exactly, Angela. Any union reps run the other way. Okay. So again, some of y'all understand what that is. Okay. So Bain Capital, like the whole thing with Cabela's that I talked about the other day, a couple days ago, how these capital companies, they come in. I shared it in the community. The guy with the tie, Tucker Carlson, talked about how these companies come in and they invest in a company, and then they start laying off employees. They start selling equipment. They put jobs overseas, and they be like, look, stockholders, we made the company better. When really they just killed it, right? Toys R Us wasn't dead, y'all. I mean, everybody keeps trying to play you like Toys R Us was dead. Toys R Us was making like almost $1 billion a year. The problem was Toys R Us owed over $400 million a year back in a back loan payment. So if Toys R Us made like 500 million and then they owe 400 million to the loan, that means they only got 100 million to pay staff, keep the Toys R Us up, and also try to have an online website. You're not doing that with all that. This is the same thing that's happening in trucking, and I know it from personal experience, where they will call you. Like my phone, when we started making money, this company, the phone started ringing. I started getting mail. I started getting, hey, Miss Williams, hey, we're just trying to see if your company needs funding. Who are you? We're just trying to see if your company. How'd you get my number? Again, when I talk about companies and salesmen literally working day and night, looking for companies to loan money to in that same capacity, that's what I'm talking about. Bain Capital. You're going to have terrible interest rates. You're going to have daily repayment. It's not going to be no joke. Thank you, James Salmon, for the $10 super chat. And this is what's happening to all these trucking companies. They're taking all this money at high interest risk. Now, if anybody are truckers in the comments, you know what I'm talking about. You see these companies always saying, you want to lease your truck? We can lease you a truck. You just make payments. You ain't got to worry about putting no down payment down, and we'll lease you this truck. Now, what this company has done when they do that to these drivers, and Celadon had several people crying on TV tomorrow, we're leasing a truck from them, and like all those payments go to nothing. It's like a rent to own. So they go out and buy a series of trucks. And again, a lot of these trucking companies buy brand new trucks. When they come out, like FedEx, UPS, only buy brand new trucks. They get their special order. So by the time they turn around, it's inventory on the books. They turn around and go, hey, you want to buy a truck? I know you got bad credit, no money saved, no money down. You out here driving. You can make more money if I lease you this truck. Oh, man, thank you so much for leasing me this truck, because I ain't got no money saved, no money, bad credit, doing dumb stuff. That part, okay? So they make more money back off the guy leasing from them. He paying. Okay, they getting money from vendors all over stuff. Now you also got to realize these trucks, it's not like automatic payments, right? So the truck goes out, drop the load. It's a little bit of lag time with all the money moving back and forth. Even with my third party company, it's a little bit of lag time, 1 to 2 weeks sometimes getting the money out, which I be bothered by, but still, that's a side point. So if anything goes wrong in the chain of all these things, where they owe money back on these business lines of credit and checking lines of credit, which I keep trying to tell y'all about, guess what happens? They got to yell, bankruptcy, we ain't got it. You can't take our company because we ain't got it. Because they're playing a cash flow game. Again, some of y'all don't understand what I'm saying. I'm trying to set it up so you all will be on the same page. But a lot of these companies are living off future cash flow. When you get some of these terrible loans, these cash advance loans for businesses, merchant finance loans, they're betting that your company is going to make this money back in a few months, a few weeks. That's why they're going to give it to you. So this is what's happening. And I can go article by article. I got a few that I top to the top here, but it won't let me share it like I want. Where these companies are taking bad loans. They're lining their pockets up with business line of credit. They're sucking all the money out of the company. One thing go wrong, they got to close. Look at some of the companies they pointed out. One of them companies only had 20 trucks. They didn't even need to be in the news. There were little 20 truck companies all over Texas. I can drive up and down to I-35 and put y'all on the camera and let y'all see that. Okay? Same thing goes for some of the companies you saw in the articles. The ones that got really big, you go back and read, the parents, the one company in Indiana, the family sold it 3 years ago because their father was older. He didn't run it no more. The sons run it. The sons were tired of running it, and they sold it, but the name was still on there. Now, you saw conveniently in the article, they would not list where his children had moved because they all left Indiana when they took the payout 3 years ago and moved to another state because they knew they were selling a dead company. So when y'all sit here and, Erica, you see this about the downturn? Honey, chill. Like, I see the articles, but I'm actually reading it. I know what's going on behind the scenes. I'm reading it. And what you don't understand is some of these guys, I can drive up and down San Antonio. You'll see places where trucks are just sitting empty. Nothing's going on with them because the company is putting them as inventory so they can get bigger loans to go do other stuff, other projects, because it's all paper. Now, I don't want to lose anybody in this conversation, but I just want you to understand that a lot of these companies are taking these loans and this big stuff because they're paying out old loans, loan sharks they own, and also their young sons come into the company and they got they don't want to be like their dad. They don't want to just pay drivers and live a good life and do basics. They want to go stunt for the gram. They want to go do something else. They want to go invest in real estate. So they suck money out of the main company and put it somewhere else. Okay, I hope y'all guys understand what I'm trying to say, what's happening. And so even if one thing goes wrong, if one season's slow, which fall, thank you, Isaiah Lindsay, for the $2 super chat. The fall is not slow. Wintertime, you get paid $2-3 grand to go drop stuff off for the same rate you would have gotten in the summer for $1,500. Why is that? Because snow conditions. And I can tell you right now, multiple drivers go sit at home. They go, I'll see you in January. I'll see you in February. I'm going to spend the holidays with my family. Okay, because they know they can save enough money. Again, some of these drivers are making $10,000 a month, y'all. This ain't no joke. And they can sit out December, so they ain't got to worry about getting no accident, no tires blowing on them, no ice road trucker situations, no side of the road in Wisconsin and it's cold and they want to be with their kids at Christmas. They can just sit at home. Period. They can sit at home. They don't have to participate. And guess what? Somebody's going to hire them right again in January. They're going to hire them right again in February. That's all that is to it. This is a game, okay? Now, I'm going to go over some of y'all comments, but let me go to this next article. All right. Fleetowner.com. You guys send me this often. Fleetowner.com. Economic forecast for trucking. Gloomy with a chance of recession. The economic storm is brewing over trucking industry. Here's what you need to know to weather it. Okay, so if you're fleetowner.com, you can go watch this again. Class 8 truck builds in North America are expected to hit 345,000 this year. That's pretty much a 51% improvement, y'all. See, people will be like, oh, it's just going down. So they built almost double what they needed in trucks. I mean, again, you guys can go look at this for yourself. Look at some of these articles. I wish I could share it. It makes me mad. I don't know how to make this thing work the same way. Okay. Another fleet-owned article says, and I'm giving you the title so you can look it up. Rare outlook. Indicators point to a mid-2020 recovery. Hear that again. Rare rate outlook. Indicators point to a mid-2020 recovery. Yield curve versus coyote curve. Coyote curve. The recession remains a wild card, but the freight cycle is set to turn favorable for truckers. Why? What happened? You had a lot of companies that were just dragging on, go away, die off. We saw 7% more van loads moving the first half of 2019 on the spot market than in the first half of 2018. We're still kind of surprised, and you may be as well. But the load to truck ratio went into a ditch and spot rates followed. Okay? Everybody follow what I'm saying? For hire freight is in a recession, but it's very important to differentiate the freight market from broader economic recession. The economy is still chugging along just fine. Now I'm gonna go down here. Okay. Oh, this is such a good article. Why can't I share my screen? What is wrong with this thing? That's crazy. Hold on. What if I do this? Hold on. I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna go back. Let me see what it let me do it. Share my screen now. Would it let me do it? Hey, there we go. There we go. Can y'all see this? Hey, get it for your girl. Get it for your girl. Okay, because it was giving me a hard time, y'all. This shit was giving me a hard time. It's a new computer. Give me a break. So that's the line right there. Hold on. I'm going to show y'all. Yes, Debbie Robinson. These investment companies are like international hitmen. Yes, they are like economic hitmen. And that's what Tucker Carlson was talking about. But see, people don't watch the news like that. So they'd be like, Erica, what is Tucker talking about? That company owned 11% of the company. 11% is huge. In a $1 billion company, to own 11% of a $1 billion company is huge. Ron for real estate. They called me 5 minutes after I filled out my DOT number. Now, second part of this thing, what's the hardest company to get financing for? Trucking. So it kind of, transportation in general. So it kind of forces you to get shitty loans. Excuse my language. I just realized I was going cussing. Exactly. Toys R Us was another story. The owner died and didn't want to leave it to his people. You have Toys R Us, mix up Sears, JCPenney, all of it. Exactly. Oh, thank you, Bitty Chain. Thank you. Truck leasing is equipment leasing, not a path to ownership. There you go. Thank you so much. Ken worked on Freightliners for UPS. That's why I only buy Freightliners. Yup. Predatory lending. That's what it is. Look at this. See, my friend makes $13,000 a week driving for an oil company. Now, here's the crazy part about oil companies. The guys will be driving for 3 weeks on, 1 week off, and then sometimes they be off for another whole 3 weeks. And you'll talk to guys and they be broke. And you be like, how? You made 13 grand? How? I promise you, I've heard all kind of stories. The stuff don't make no kind of sense. Drop and stand owner operator. There you go. Oh, Lord. There you go. Celadon had 2 executives charged with fraud. I was getting to that. See, y'all not getting the whole story. Y'all not getting the whole story. They're not telling you. Exactly. You got to read the fine print, y'all. Okay. All right. So here's the article I was talking about. And, you know, right there, that graph, one's called a coyote graph, one's called a yield curve. And so it's like, oh, it's going down. But again, it's just different levels. Freightliner is trash. How dare you? No, Freightliner is not trash. No, it's not. But again, so you have here, talking about yield curve. Again, I love a party, but all good things must come to an end. This is Coyote Logistics. This is a really important line. This is the spot market is the green, and the blue is the contract rates. Does that make sense? Everybody feel that? Everybody understand that? I hope you do. But again, y'all can look at these articles on your own free time. Don't take my word for it. Read it for yourself. Again, so again, carrier, this is Total revenue per loaded mile, net fuel. Now, this is where they're talking about the recession, this part right here. Third quarter of 2019. This is what they think is going to look like projected. And it's bad, but that's just freight trends. We don't know. These are predicted. These are actual, because the dark blue. Everybody see that? There you go. Yep. That's true. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to get another one because I really want y'all to understand, what we're seeing. Let's see. Oh, yeah. This is the one that most people have been sharing with me. And I hear you. But again, and it looked terrible. Look at it. It looks terrible. Oh, wait, let me scroll it down somewhere. Can y'all see it better there? There you go. See the red I was just showing you earlier was blue. So it seasonally goes through recessions, right? So you had 2012, part of 2013 for a season. Then you had part of 2013 and 14. Then it went back up. Then it went back down. Then, of course, 2017 to now have been 2 years of just, again, when they were saying they needed drivers and they got 15,000, another 15,000 from India to drive, that was all this. Now we back here. We here. Can everybody see that? Celadon was a case of mismanagement for sure. Have a good night. Good evening. Yeah, I know you East Coasters. I know it's late on the East Coast. So I'm not even going to front. Okay. See if I can pull up Celadon. But there's still another good, I really feel like there's another good 10 years. 10 years. So that a lot of people are going to make money. And what happens is if you're on the end of something, and what do I mean on the end? If you're on the front line as you are just a driver, not a owner, you start panicking like this because you're like, what's happening? But I want y'all to read these other articles, right? Because this is what happened. Y'all get one part of the article and y'all be like, oh no, the sky is falling. Let's see here. Can y'all see that? I mean, but they've been predicting a recession for many years now. This isn't just, again, I always want to make it very clear. I literally read and study for a lot and every day. And again, if you notice how I invest, we got a set of trucks, and then now we're back on real estate. We got this, and we got some in Cleveland, we got some in Detroit. We're gonna build new construction in Texas. We're going and not being controlled by one marketplace or one thing. Trucking market will absorb Celadon shutdown, just like they absorbed the other ones. There's no panic. Exactly. That's why I tell people, if you're watching my channel and you tired of me hearing me talk about, if you need to get a higher paying job or you need to get a tech job, that's where most of you sit in the job field. So you need to get a higher paying job. Take that money and invest it. Do that water. And so people be sitting out here, this equipment will go for discount. They'll get these trucks for cheap. And Ken, they have 3,300. Anyway, Celadon is one of the largest truckload carriers in North America. They have 3,300 trucks, 3,800, 2,500 truck drivers. It had an estimated $611 million revenue so far, according to Transportation Research, SJ Consulting Group. Celadon customer list, listen to this, y'all. Customer list included Lowe's, Philip Morris, Walmart Incorporated, Honda, Procter and Gamble. So guess what? Lowe's, Philip Morris, Walmart, Honda, and Procter Gamble gonna do what? Call other people. The money just that $600 million is gonna get moved to somebody else. The company owes $33 million to the Justice Department stemming from a federal probe into the company's accounting, and smaller amount to creditors, including TA Dispatch, LLC, which bought some of the company's logistics assets earlier. Now, you know what that means? Let me reread that. Smaller amounts to creditors, including TA Dispatch, which bought some of the company's logistic assets earlier this year. Vendors such as Pilot Travel Centers and Goodyear Tire and Rubble. Now, let me make that very clear. What we just read. They owed TA Dispatch some money, couldn't pay, so TA Dispatch, quotations here, bought some of the trucks logistics, aka they traded on paper. Okay, y'all owe us this much money. You better sell us some trucks. You better sell us some other stuff you got because we need our money. Okay. Now, Pilot Travel Centers are what? Where you'll use your fuel cards, and if you had to get an oil change, if you have to get a tire change, something happened, boom. Goodyear Tire and Rubble. What's that mean? When I had to get all 15 of the trucks, had to get new winter tires, tires for the winter, oil changes. It ain't cheap. And if you don't got a line of credit with somebody, guess what? You are paying out of pocket. So guess what? They have probably had a line of credit with Goodyear Tire and Pilot Centers for the fuel cards. Okay. Although the shutdown is the biggest truckload bankruptcy in memory, Celadon business only accounts for a sliver. Let me say that again, a sliver of the roughly $200 billion for hire truckload market. Let me just pause. Everybody pause. 200 billion. Let's say that again. 200 billion. So the company was making 600 million in comparison to what, y'all? 200 billion truckload for hire. Okay. I just want to put that out there because I think y'all keep hearing they closing 4,000 jobs. See, what you're hearing is you're on the front end. You're in the employee seat. Well, 4,000 jobs is a lot, Erica. Yeah, but 600 million to 200 billion is a sliver. Okay. That means more money for everybody else's company. All right. So the capacity in broader truckload market remains relatively loose this year after truckers rushed to expand their fleets during the 2018 freight boom. Let's hear that again. 2018 freight boom. What did that come out of? All those Indian drivers coming over. Okay. It doesn't move the needle on capacity because there are more trucks than loads in the general market. Okay. Now, this is where money gets tied up. Such shutdown raised concerns over drivers who may be stuck far from home and for shipping customers who may have freight shipments tied up. That means somebody else's company has to come pick that load up and take it to where it needs to go. Now it's late. Now who pays for that? Okay. That's all. Some previous company, and then again, I'm gonna click here just so y'all can see the article. I already know it when they talking about. Oh yeah, they talk about some smaller companies that shut down. That's all. Yep. New England Motor Freight, Falcon Transportation. They both were like 150 drivers. One was Denver-based HVH Transportation, had 175. Yep. I'm gonna tell you right now. One company said the HVH monthly insurance bill more than doubled this year to $368,000 from $150,000 in 2018. Some trucking executives believe the rate that smaller carriers will give larger carriers more control and pricing power of the market, which basically means when the small guys go under, the larger guys basically just dominate. It becomes a monopoly. So, did everybody get that? Let me go up here. Let me go up, see what y'all talking about. Most have one shaky stream though. They do. Recycled. Yep. There are still Celadon drivers waiting on the call for their next move. No. Yep. Honey, they don't. Okay. Okay, so tires are $250 a tire, but if you blow a tire on the road, you're talking about anywhere from $800 to $1,000. My tires are $500 a tire. Yeah, it's higher than that. Almost a quarter. There you go. Okay. 200 billion with a B, a Billy killer. Okay. Oh, for sure. Yeah, Gregory. Yes. So guess what they do? If they get money from Bain Capital or somebody, then they move around, sell stuff, get some assets, do some weird the number stuff. So that's really what the problem is. So let me see what else. Oh yeah, be an owner. I mean, listen, this is the thing. A lot of these truckers, they don't own their truck. We've talked about that. They don't want to be responsible for taxes and insurance. I don't want to do that, Eric. I just want to drive. And we're just in an economy cycle where, okay, if you don't want to do that, then 20 to 30% of your income, every paycheck needs to be invested in something. Yep. I believe that. Yep. Yeah, JB Hunt, which everybody acts like son. Land Shark too. Oh, for sure. For sure. Samantha, for sure. So I just wanted to get some of that out there because so many people have been messaging me like, oh, the trucking and the downturn. And like, I mean, I get it. Y'all watching some news, but y'all not really reading behind the scenes that some of these people are just getting caught. That's what it is. Warren Buffett has that saying, whenever the shore goes out, we see who was swimming naked. A lot of these companies have owners who are swimming naked. Okay, they done took all these loans at high rates. They holding on for dear life. And they just hoping that the next quarter will kind of get them through. That's what they're doing. So don't, I know everybody's like, oh, Erica, how your company doing? You surviving? I'm like, nah, I'm thriving, baby. Because what people don't understand is some of these companies, not all of them, if their sons who take over are smart, they will take that money and move it around. Now, what do I was going to do a series of videos, which I still might do if I could record them in advance. And it just shows where you start here. If your money's this much, then you go here, then you go here, then you go here, then you go here, right? Same thing's happening on a bigger scale with these companies. The son or somebody comes in, they're getting paid buku dollars and be like, Dad, let's go invest in an apartment. Let's go invest in commercial real estate. Let's go invest somewhere else. And they take their eye off the trucking company ball. But to some degree, those sons are right because you can't put all the eggs in the cart of the trucking company. There has to be some money saved. Sorry, hold on. Oh, I know. They do. They be acting like this. AM1, Erica, you buy used trucks. What's the average cost? So used trucks, because you can't buy a new truck. Let me just be very clear. Because of the boom of 2018, you almost could not buy a brand new truck. They got pre-ordered by UPX and FedEx, and you got a used truck regardless, right? It's like they had a certain amount they made every year. You just didn't get it. So I don't go 70, 80,000 new truck, right? Used truck. I go 35,000 to 50,000 used truck. Now, many people be like, oh, Erica, they're going to have problems. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But right now, when you have a surplus of trucks out there, you can get a lot of deals for cheap, right? You can go to the auction and get a bunch of trucks for 32,000, and it's not a big deal. But at the end of the day, you know, be careful, you know, take a mechanic with you because sometimes they get you. And transmissions are 10K and it's not cheap. It's not cheap at all. I don't wear my shoes in the house at all. We don't wear our shoes in the house. That's nasty. I told you my grandparents lived in Japan for 7 years. They don't wear their shoes in the house either. At all. Listen, Romero, if you, I told y'all when I was in San Antonio, whenever our trucks got towed, and it was only there for a day, and I had to pay like $1,500, and then they took a piece off it to tow it because the driver had locked it, like locked the gear so it couldn't get towed. Honey, let me tell you, the cost of all that, I was like, that's the real money, the towing. My friend put all his eggs in one basket, and now when he's from an owner to a worker again, ooh, see, that's the thing. When I be telling y'all about the smartphone millionaire, it's just a smaller size version of what you should do with your money, right? I don't buy all, like there's months where I'm going all in on stocks, right? And then I go back to my automatic amount. Then I go all in on Lending Club. I'm like, Lending Club. Then I go back to my regular amount where I just reinvest what's already in there. Because what I know long term is people that go all in on one thing, they usually don't have it. They don't have the power of focus like that. They really don't. Oh, Michelle, you done missed a lot. You're going to have to go back. Yeah, and new trucks, if you really look at it, and I stay in trucks that are aged 2013 to 2015, right? Because you go too far back, 2011, 2012, Freightliner, they had them new computer systems, and they raggedy. Don't buy those trucks. Then if you go past 2015, you talking about new computer technology. You got to take it to a particular place. Same thing with the Volvo trucks. Only a Volvo person can fix a Volvo truck, period. Freightliners are like the, I got a cousin trying to call me. I don't know what she called me for, but I ain't about it. Freightliners are like the Honda Civics of trucks. Anybody can work on a Freightliner. Anybody can tinker on it. You dig what I'm saying? Country, no shoes. No, Asian people don't wear shoes in the house. Okay. There's a lot of cultures who don't wear shoes in the house. You gonna walk your nasty feet all over the cut, all outside, dog feces everywhere, dirt on the ground, and then you gonna walk around your house? I don't trust people who put their shoes on in the house. I don't trust them. They flows is nasty. I've seen it. I don't trust people with teenagers either, because if they got teenagers walking around with shoes in the house, nasty. Yep, used to have mud rooms in the house where you drop your shoes off inside. You don't bring outside dirt in the house. Yeah, I mean, people romanticize stuff. Like everybody out here trying to quit their job. I'm trying to quit their job. I'm trying to quit my job. And you'd be like, why don't you just take 30, 40% of your income and buy a rental property every year? Oh man, Erica, you get out here with that shit. You'd be like, you make a lot. Just buy a rental every year. And then by year 3, you can take that FU money and go where you want. That's what people do. That's too much like common sense. Listen, AM1 is like you have to slowly come into all the information. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I don't wanna wear y'all out. Yep. Ritchie Brothers Auction. Daily hip hop. First thing I'm gonna tell you to do is go over the Hood Estates course, because the only thing we talk about is no dispatching. I don't want to hire people, all that good stuff, but they have a whole system set up and a whole course that I always share in here for y'all to go ahead and grab. They do. They wear house shoes. Yep. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I've heard that the new Freightliners basically drive themselves. Again, I'm pretty much only going to be buying automatic trucks from here on out. If I buy anymore, I think I'm done. Just done at this level, because I really want to go back into real estate, and I have a big real estate plan I want to do next year. But yeah, all these new trucks is because the younger people do not know how to drive automatic, and they don't have a love for, ooh, that's right, for driving like that. They just don't have it. Yep, they don't either. That's right. That's what I'm saying. Who walks around that house with shoes on? They nasty. Even the slides. Even when I see black men with the little Nike slides on in the house, I'm like, ugh. You done walked all around outside, went to the gas station with them slides on, and now you in your house with them? That's nasty. That's just nasty. So what other questions did y'all have about the trucking? But that just, I hope that settles some of the questions where people are like, oh, the sky is falling. And again, for the next 20, 50 years, people who own things are going to be just fine. People who invest in real estate will be just fine. People who, again, I made that whole conversation about separation happening. It's been happening. It's just going to be on a bigger level. When I was in DC this weekend, all I saw was every single black person I bumped to was like, well, we don't live here no more. Well, why not? Well, it used to be real bad. Then and then like they talked to me about Howard. Now Howard's mostly got white people around it. And I said, well, how long ago was that? Well, that was like 5 years. And I was like, so 5 years ago, when you saw all this growth happening with Barack Obama in Washington, D.C., you didn't think it's time to buy something in Washington, D.C. 5 years ago? 7 years ago? 8 years ago? They won't shoot them up 8 years ago. They won't stab them in D.C. like that 10 years ago. You cannot tell me that. Ain't no way. And so, again, I do these videos, I do these shows, but I hope you really grasp the concept that if you guys don't invest in it, if you're not putting your feet in it, you're just observing from the outside. And that's a lot of the commentary I got this week was people like, oh, my cousin told me this and this happened and my Uncle Jerome told me this. And I go, okay, well, is your Uncle Jerome owner? No. Okay, then he's just on the front line. He's a driver. He's replaceable. I mean, it's not nice, but it is what it is. That's right. Keep your job till it replaces it. People be so excited. They get drunk off Instagram. People quitting their job. They want to quit. Okay. Yeah, people in panic mode. That's what they are. And they're not inside. They're on the outside. Again, I think I saw Glendon Cameron while I was in the airport on the plane, and he was talking to a show. Somebody said, well, we still need people to flip pizzas and deliver pizzas and flip burgers and wash cars. And I said, listen, y'all get obsessed about the front end of poor jobs, low wage jobs. Why are you focused there? That's not where the future is. There will always be someone who will flip burgers. There will always be someone who wash cars. There will always be janitors. Always. But I'd much rather be the $100,000 a year janitor working inside of Google in California than somewhere else. I mean, the people take their focus is on the wrong end of the business. Even as I talk about these companies taking these loans, I can tell you some of these companies took that money and put it somewhere else. I can tell you right now, I bet you some of them, they weren't buying trucks, they were buying real estate somewhere. There you go, Buster Brown. It is. It's fake news. Now, long term, a lot of these trucks are on automatic drive, but some of these people that you hear talking about it like it's dead. It's a dead industry. Now, if you really look at some of these people who get in the trucking, they get in the trucking for 3 or 4 or 5 years and bounce and do something else, or drive local or do something else. A lot of these guys who really want to elevate themselves, sometimes they don't stay in trucking that long. They own the truck, but they don't stay in trucking long. And so when people get straight black pill on something like, it's a dead industry, it's so dead. Now your son who could have went and made, $100,000 for 3 years driving in the oil fields is listening to somebody on the internet, YouTube, who don't know what they talking about and they're not even in it. So they're going to miss out on making 100K for 3 years. You dig what I'm saying? That don't make sense. Again, we're always late. We're always reactive to information. That stuff is a mess. Let me see if I can pull up one more. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it. Let me see. Okay. I'm gonna share my screen again. Exactly. And people are like, oh, oh, the sky's falling. Now, you listen to somebody who's telling you about something that might happen 15 years from now. Oh, self-driving trucks are coming over. Nah, you guys, self-driving trucks, every time they've tested it, have killed people. Literally killed people. And so that's why the companies cannot market it. They cannot get anybody to prove, yeah, we just go. They're not going to let self-driving trucks take over. They make way too much money from the toll roads to the truck to the police officers writing tickets to the little hotels that you be like, ain't nobody staying there. A tired trucker might stay there. He might be like, I'm tired of sleeping in this truck now. I'm gonna go sleep in that little raggedy hotel. Too much money is being made off the trucking industry. From them stopping and getting coffee. There was a graph I shared on here one time. On average, they stop and get coffee 2-3 times a day in different places. Just little money coming up here. People don't understand. They're not going to let that go like that. There you go. Ron Johnson, I'm from D.C., born and raised for you. They've been shooting. Listen, Ronald, I believe you, but even Anacostia, people was talking all that smack about Anacostia. Now it's going to be nothing but white people there. And that was the heart of the worst part of D.C. Is the worst. It's just the worst. Georgetown is nothing but white people now. You know what I mean? Like everybody this weekend was on this, oh my God. And again, now you got people with $3 million homes inside DC that was Chocolate City. Didn't look that chocolatey when I was there. Well, and again, Ronald, we got to say segments. And what I realize every day, there's segments of the United States that are not on the up and up. They're not on the up and up. They're not getting their, just the basics. Like I should buy a house. I should get a bank. I should get a credit card. We understand it. But I would say about 5 to 10 years now, it's been pretty out there. I'm not even going to say 5 to 10. If you were in D.C., I would say since George Bush, you've been knowing to buy in D.C. I mean, nah, baby. Like I can't let people slide like that. I try to give everybody grace because everybody be like, you don't know, I know hood people. I get it. But there's even the hood people knew it was time to buy or get moving. Because then they moved around looking for cheaper places to live and stuff. I mean, they knew what time it was. Hold on, let me share my screen. And again, it's all a perspective of people worrying about these companies that got 500 trucks. When the average person, even if they come over here, Hood Estates thing, and get a truck, they get one truck, like this guy. He got one truck. It's a box truck, right? This guy got, oh wait, let me go back, sorry. He got a truck. He actually invested in real estate. Sorry, my bad. Let's go to the next one. She got a truck. No driving, no dispatching, no operating. Now, even if she don't get another truck, she just get her one truck. And it's giving her $800 to $1,000 a week check. That's a nice truck. It's pretty clean, Freightliner. Again, y'all worried about other companies with 500. You just got to worry about your one truck. Take your one win and keep rolling. This is her second truck. Excuse me. Apologies. This woman's her second truck. Let me see if I can open up her thing. I don't think she has a public profile. I don't think it's public. Okay. Next one. Let me come on down. He got one truck. Okay. 15% of the trucking industry. This girl got her first truck. Just one truck. All right, one truck making you $40K, $50K a year after everything's paid. You know, one truck. This kid's 19 years old, getting his first truck on the road. It's just a system, y'all. Another person, one truck. Found my driver, contacted my third-party company, logistics company, purchased a truck. Boom. Now you may say, Eric, I got this one truck. It's giving me a little bit of headache. I'm going to go back to real estate. No problem. Guess what? It's just a paycheck. It's just one stream of income. See, y'all be falling in love with the trucks. It's just a stream of income. I just saw it as a way of there was going to be a space where we're not involved. Just like DC Chocolate City, y'all not gonna be involved in trucking other than just being a driver. If you don't own anything in some of these marketplaces, you will not be included. That's just is what it is. What I saw every time I went somewhere, even there's Hispanic and white people in the group, in the Hood State Truck group. Gotta get your truck, right? Again, you're talking to people from again, I told y'all when I went to my dentist and he was looking at me like, I said, yeah, I gotta call my drivers. Oh, you own a truck? I said, yeah, I own 6 trucks. At the time it was 6 trucks. He pulled his glasses down and looked at me like, what? Like, you've seen that look before where somebody underestimates you. He said, oh, I got 1 truck and it's in the oil field. Now, you think this dentist would have ever told me he had a truck in the oil field if it wasn't for me presenting that conversation? Nah. Again, he's a dentist. He has a whole dentist office, full staff. He owns the whole place. And he did what? He has a truck. So when people sit here and try to argue with me about the trucking industry gonna die, listen, $700 billion, I'm just trying to get my billions. I'm just trying to get my check, okay? Like, that's all. That's all. That's it. So I know y'all see the links in there somewhere. I should have the links in there for the course. Let me see what y'all saying up in here. Let me see what y'all saying up in here. Because I sure know what I'm looking at. Again, the self-driving trucks are far, far, far away. I know y'all want to believe, I saw the news, it said the self-driving. They are so far away. It is so far away. It's going to happen. Big Pat, I promise you it is, but it's so far away, honey. It's going to be by the time you have because what you have is a lot of boomer drivers. When the boomer drivers go sit down, yeah. Oh, honey, me too. When I ask somebody, are you doing that? Are you invest? Well, you shouldn't. I remember I told somebody in my family I was buying a property in Detroit. Oh, I wouldn't do that. I said, well, right now we got 4. So I'm doing that. I mean, they shut their mouth because how can you take advice from somebody who's not doing it? How can you take advice from people who are sitting on the sidelines of life? Listen, I'm not knocking anybody on YouTube, but I'm actually growing real businesses. And you really can only grow about 2, 3 real businesses strong with full focus. Now, I'm not knocking any of y'all who have a lot of dreams and ideals of doing multiple businesses, but as a person who day in, day out does multiple businesses, you can only do about 2 with full brain capacity. I mean, literally this YouTube thing, from the Rudy to the Tootie of the YouTube thing, it sucks up a lot of time, a lot of energy, unless you put systems in place. And that's everything I'm trying to teach everybody in the YouTube course. You got to have systems. You got to have staff. I can point out so many channels that I know personally. They got 8, 9, 10 people on staff, but it looked like it's just a husband and wife. It's just us with the camera, y'all. No, it ain't. I know them. And they sat down and told me we got 8 people on staff. You think they coming up with all these posts? You think they doing all this Instagram stuff? No, they got staff. That's why I'm like, YouTube is a business. If you really want to make business money, treat it like a business. That's one business for me. Number 2 business for me is the investment club. Now there's a 3rd business for me, but only because somebody else is half member and they really do all the running. I was really the silent partner, but we ain't got to talk about what that business is. It's a 3rd business, but it's mine. It's private. It's quiet. But the investment club, I'm managing. I'm investing, making sure the trucks get running, the properties get rehabbed. That's a whole stream. Like, again, this vacation I'm taking is well needed. And on top of that, I'm still got to run other stuff. So you only have so much brain power to do certain things. So that's why when I picked the trucking, it was because somebody else could do all that. 3rd-party company make it run around, get the check, just send me the check on Friday, send me a statement, make sure everything matches. Boom. 85% me, 15% them. That's all. I know. See, that's the thing. And I hate Herbert Scott. Again, when the person is ready, the information appears. The teacher, the student, the whatever appears. Whenever the student's ready, the teacher appears. Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, if you're in trucking, I've met a lot of men who got out of trucking to do trucking repair because there's a lot of money in repairing those trucks. So, I mean, they're just like with anything else. A lot of the people you see getting out of trucking are older now. They need to get out anyway. They're in their 50s. I unfortunately talked to several people whose father died, had a heart attack behind the wheel. I'm like, yo, whew, You got to take care of your body and yourself. Yep, in 2005, I had people tell me about the changes that were coming to DC. Yeah, I mean, the art of becoming more, that's just it. Like, I can't let anybody in any major city try to play that shit now. I'm not even gonna play with y'all. If you in Chicago, you in New York, you in Florida, Miami, Hollywood, you in Atlanta, Midtown. Midtown is gone. Y'all let that go, right? If you in Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, 3rd Ward, 5th Ward, 2nd Ward. If you in Austin, Texas, East Austin is gone. You hear it from your girl first. You can come there and visit for yourself. It's gone. Like, there is no black people over there. It's mostly white people. Now, the black people are still there, like Airport Road, but like sporadic, if that. Okay, everybody else is gone to Pflugerville, Maynard, Hutto, Cal, Butte, out. They out. And guess what they had to do to get out there? Either buy a house, no money down, or they renting again in the middle of nowhere. I mean, that's ridiculous, right? But good schools, right? Haha, it's always about the kids. You know, my kids have a good school. You really, some of these moms are out here and dads are telling them, I did the best I could. No, you didn't. You gave your kids half-ass. And then when they grow up, they're going to know you did half-ass. They're going to know. They're going to be like, Mom, why didn't you buy a house, no money down when it was cheap? Dad, why didn't you do, you know what I mean? They're going to ask you these questions. Don't think these kids are going to grow up and never not ask you, why didn't you do more? Yeah, those days are coming. And I would hate to be a mom and have that happen. Where somebody's like, why didn't you leave this person? This person was treating us bad. I mean, all kinds of stories. Thank you. Okay, Chris Lee, worry about your one truck and keep it pushing. I mean, you know, I'm just not going to let y'all have that rolling. I just can't. I ain't going to lie to you. I can't. I feel you, but I just can't let you have it because they just was doing too much in DC. You know, if you want to get like a checking line of credit from Navy Federal, that's one way to do it. I mean, again, part of the reason I got so pushed and ready to go is somebody came up to me at the Max Maxwell Houston event last year, 2018. And it was like, yo, I watched your video, got the Hood Estate course. A week later, went to Navy Federal, got a business line of credit. No, he got a personal line of credit for $40K, and immediately turned around, got a driver, got a truck. It was gone. It was already rolling. So when I hear people sit here and go, well, you know, Erica, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know what you're thinking about. Like, you study wrong, study wrong, study long. And again, there's this thing in the Marines where they give instructions, and this is most of the military, but it's an old saying, but it's a true saying. But if you got 70% information, go. Take your map, take your snacks, take your water, and go. Because by the time you get 100% information, it's conditions have changed. And this is as true as if to life. By the time some of y'all sitting over here like, well, I need to do this. I'm trying to figure this out. Conditions have changed. Now you walking around DC and it ain't Chocolate City no more. Now you walking around places and it's not the same no more. Again, a friend of mine has been a truck driver for 20 years. He has owned his own company for years. I believe he would benefit from this program. How could I introduce it to him? Send him the link. Show him Hood Estate's video, you know. I mean, it just depends on where he's at in his life and what he wants to do. I feel you, Roland. I'm just saying. I was looking forward to hear it. So I'd rather hear it from Boots. Thank you, Mr. G. Thank you for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Listen, you know, people love trying to tell me, Erica is dead. Self-driving trucks, blah, blah, blah. Y'all, the GPS you use for your car ain't even straight. You're not going to have a truck back into a regular street with no driver to deliver nothing. It's just not happening. I know y'all love it. But it's not. Y'all love it so much. Mr. Sway. Listen, I'm telling you. Exactly. Listen, I tell people all the time, what you got to understand is people be having 8, 10 people behind the scenes. And I'm sitting here trying to explain to y'all, I got a VA, I got like a girl do the blog, I got a girl doing this, I got a guy doing this, and like, it's still not enough. I need like 3 more people for the amount of revenue I do. And that's why when I sit here and tell you, like, you can come on YouTube and you can play and you can do gossip and you can do BS and you can come out here and do barbershop talk and act stupid and coonery and foonery and hope Google AdSense pay you some money, or you can go make real money. That's all. That's all. Thank you, Herbert Scott. People love trying to tell you about, no, you know. Again, there's a guy right now who came out of Detroit who was I shared him, Detroit CEO. He's building new construction from the ground in DC. Building like something that's gonna sell for $400,000, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Like the money and the power and opportunities are out there. And I would tell you this: if I was a man or woman saying, "Well, Erica, I really want to get into construction," or I would say, go find somebody who's doing what you want to do. Go work for them. Go get up under them. Go study them. Go, how can I work for you? How can I help you? See, 9 times out of 10, people always want to come to you with their hand out. Oh, you should give this information away for free. You should give these courses away for free. I make sure, let me be very clear, and this ain't being petty. I make sure everybody knows your name. When you come in my DMs talking crazy, you come on YouTube talking crazy, I make sure everybody in our circle that sells any courses, that sells any products, that sells anything, hey, watch out for this person. They acting crazy. Watch out. You know why? Because people like that are toxic and nobody needs them in their life. They don't need them around. Now, if somebody comes out of their way to help, like this weekend, AM1 came to record me. Somebody else needed help recording. Yo, here's AM1. AM1, meet this person. When somebody comes to work, do work, and doing good work, you're gonna recommend them. You're gonna share their name. You're gonna make sure they're paid all the time. So people understand. Yep. They just got a lot of their kids. They really do. There you go. Midtown was selling out after the 1996 Olympics, becoming more gayer and whiter. Mr. Sway, you trying to get me in trouble. There's a structure. For sure. You listen, that's why you have to literally segue. You have to literally, again, everybody I met that own a truck, when they started getting 50 something, they started letting somebody they know drive it, or they would split roads, or they do team driving. Again, is there no money down, sign and drive with these semis or doing? G Logan, didn't you just hear me about the bad loans? Baby, don't take a bad loan. Fix your credit. Fix the credit. I mean, because honestly, if you see my funding course, any of my stuff I show y'all, if one thing goes wrong with a truck, you out of money. If you ain't got 10K saved up, period. I had a truck break down in the mountains of North Carolina. The tow alone was $1,000 some odd dollars. Then the repair after that was $4,000 just to get it back on the road. Had another truck break down at one time, and it cost $10,000 to repair the transmission. You're not going to come into an industry with no money and bad credit. That's a recipe for disaster. Being really honest. Yeah, I mean, people. Here's the thing. If a person is like, Erica, oh, these self-driving trucks are coming to take over, it's an easy way for them to not have to take any action. Same thing with DC. I'm being for real. Baltimore, DC, name the city. Texas. Oh, it used to be $20 over there, so I'm not going to spend $100 now, when it's going to be $300 in a little bit. And everybody kept asking me, why are you buying a house right now, Erica? The neighborhood I already bought my house in, that's being built from the ground up, is already 20% more. Like, the houses in the front are cheaper than the houses in the back. Okay? Apple's coming around the corner from where I'm building my house. Like, all the houses are going to be $400,000. You know what I mean? I keep trying to tell people, like, pay attention. Okay? You have to invest to win. Point blank, period. Thank you. Can I get an amen? Romeo just told you, I can't wait to see self-driving trucks in oil fields where there are no roads or GPS. It's not going to happen. Give up the pipe dream. Y'all love talking about these pipe dreams. Oh, listen. It's not going to be what you think it's going to be. And here's the thing. I really want to, a part of me traveling in the spring because I used to be like, oh man, the economy gonna collapse, it's gonna collapse. And then I started going to these events. I started going to these seminars. I started going to these conferences. And you got to pay attention to what's really happening. Long term, all these people are gonna do is only really wealthy people gonna live inside this particular cities. And everybody else is gonna live out there. Only particular people gonna be in tech. Everybody else is gonna be out there. And again, I will sit around a team of tech people, because that's who my friends are in Austin. And I'll be like, oh, they'll be like, what you talk about on your show? I talk about investing money for people who make low income. What's low income? I'm like, under 50K. How do they live? I mean, I literally have guys looking me in the face like, how do they live? And they're making 120, 150K, 160K a year, only because of time. A lot of these tech people start out at 80K when they first start their job, but it's over time and certifications, they make more. And so I'm sitting here trying to get y'all to get in cybersecurity where you're making 80K right off the bat. Get in some of these jobs where you're making 30, 45,000, right? $45 an hour right off the bat. Tech writing, all these things. And people sit here and go, well, you know, I'm going to just go in the military. I'm going to just go do this. And I'm like, why? Again, there you go. They really do. They really do. Right? Like, that's why you see these channels talking about recession for 10 years straight. Still on. If you've been talking about recession for 10 years straight and it ain't happened, shouldn't you have some kind of course correction in your conversation? Or ride the wave conversation? Again, I told y'all back in 2011, there's a book from Glenn Beck called Broke. And many people are like, oh, Glenn Beck, I'm not listening. I'm like, y'all, do you want to educate yourself, or you want to sit here and play these bull-ass politics? The book has over 400 documented bulletin notes. Half the stuff in has already happened. I don't know if y'all remember, there was a summer where they shut down all the national parks for 2 weeks because the government budget was tight. And they're like, oh, they just playing with the budget. It's really not a budget problem. They just trying to play like it is. That's going to be the future. When you look at 92% of the budget in the future will be just paying baby boomers, Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. Where are they going to have money for schools? Where are they going to have money for all this other stuff? They closing 26 schools in parts of Maryland and Philadelphia. Why are they doing that? Because like I told y'all in my other videos, in the future, only really, really, really poor people will be at public schools. They're going to have classroom size of 40, 50 kids in there, because the budget will not sustain it. Now, if you guys really want to educate yourself about the school system, look back before the 1970s. It's before they really got their hands on the school system. You had schools teaching home ec, construction, wall, all kind of mess, shop, mechanical stuff, because they didn't have to follow this national curriculum. And it's going to go back to that. I know y'all don't believe it, but it's going to go back to that because they cannot afford to keep it the way it is. And in the 1970s, that's when you had Jimmy Carter and all these people come in and put these regulations in place for all schools are going to follow the same pattern so that no child can be left behind. This same rhetoric started in the 1970s. But what's going to happen is we don't have the budget for it. 92% of the budget is going to Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. Where's the budget for the national parks? Where's the budget for the schools? Where's the budget for food stamps? It's not going to be there. It's not going to be there. So when I talk about owning companies, when I talk about owning businesses, and people respond with, I ain't trying to do that. Everybody don't want to do that, Erica. Some people just want to go to the job. Well, if you just want to go to the job, baby, the best thing you need to do right now is get the highest paying job possible and save your ducats. And something I think Glennon said the other day when I checked it out, part of his show, because I didn't get to see the whole thing, I was traveling, is some people are only consumers. They only know what to buy stuff. Ooh, I'm buying stuff. Yeah, Birdman hands, I'm buying stuff. So they get excited about the coupon shows. They get excited about saving money. They get excited about buying the cheapest meat possible, the cheapest stuff possible, because that's all they know how to do. They only know how to spend the money. They go to work, they spend the money. That's all they know how to do. So that's the only way they can attack it, is spending the money. So I want them to understand, if that's all you know how to do, for you, honey, the game should be just pay off all your debt. Because there's a lot of people out there with paid off cars and a paid off house, and they ain't got no money. They barely got enough food in their mouth. Why? Because their whole goal has been being cheap, paying less. They got to pay less. But the people who are out here producing, people who are out here creating companies, people out here creating jobs, you think about it, I'm one person, got 8 people working underneath one thing, And when I get the other part of the company the way I want, I'm probably gonna have 3 or 4 people in the office, at least a credit analysis, at least a one girl doing assistant work. It's going, you know what I mean? Again, one person producing multiple jobs. You got to figure out a way to get around that. That's right. People don't value what they don't pay for. People love coming out here talking about free, free, free. But I did give away some stuff for free for a while. And I noticed they didn't open it. Okay. So I know Glennon talked about he gave away free stuff. I know a lot of people give away free stuff just to get people on their email list. I'm like, those are the worst people on your email list. They won't open the email. They won't check it. Trust. I feel like Orlando and Ghost. Baby, what you gonna do with your hair? And if you say it's autumn sunrise, you like it? You do black flip. You're so silly. That's right. They cutting off them gas cars. Happy Holloway. Listen, do you know how much it costs to fill up some of those trucks? Like $400. And if the average American ain't got $400, you know them truckers ain't got $400 to go fill up that truck, to drive it all the way back. Yeah, no problem. Thank you. I appreciate it. Christmas is coming 2 weeks away. Again, what's happening right now that I told y'all about? What's happening October, November, December? Tax liens. So to me, I don't even like, oh, here goes Christmas. I'm like, oh, it is? Only reason I even care about Christmas this year is because I'm flying my family first class back to hang out with me in Texas. That's it. I'm not even going to show that one. Yeah, here in Vegas, what you got to also understand with Vegas is you have the Oakland Raiders coming. But you're going to have more people leaving California. They're going to leave like crazy because it's going to get more expensive. Yeah, there's somebody here who's in Vegas, but it's too late to come outside. They better go on somewhere. It's too late. It's too late at night. I know the city don't close, but I close. Okay, I'm going to bed. Okay. Economic collapse only applies to people with poor assets, poor skills, poor education. I'm telling you, listen, even if you go to some of my favorite prepper channels, because I like them. They encourage me a little bit, right? They made me put a bug out bag in my truck, just cause, right? I'm getting a Tacoma instead of a Jeep, just cause, right? I think every house should be prepared, bare minimum. Our grandparents were way more prepared, but at the end of the day, it's the people who own them. Whole different conversation. I didn't get to go to the first day. Today I flew in the middle of the day. By the time I got here, went down to the casino some to see where all the cowboys at. And smoke smell got in my hair, so I had to get out of here. Had to take a shower. I'll do a update on it tomorrow. Yeah, that's true. That's a good reason. Listen, it's honorable. Don't get it twisted. Like my whole family served. We can literally trace back to every member in our family serving all the way back to like the freaking Civil War, right? And everybody be like, "All right, Lieutenant Dan." I'd be like, "Yeah, we just love our country." So, yeah. So when we in, gotta love it. Oh Lord, so many comments. Exactly. Some cities now have 40, 50 kids in class. And then they be like, I don't know why my son's not learning math. I don't know why my kids don't want to go to college because they're smashing the classroom. Again, if you have a kid that's in 4th grade and they're not getting a tutor right now, I'm not trying to be an asshole to you, but you failing. That's when the average family gets tutoring for their child to make sure they catch up. Because if you do not understand reading, if you have bad reading comprehension, you will not make it further in math. Period. Point blank. Point blank. The average American has an 8th grade level reading and comprehension. Period. I've had people text me stuff and I was like, are you drunk? And they're like, nah, I just sent it to you. Because the words you just sent me are outrageous. I don't know if you okay or not. So I do that. That's weird. Anyway. Anytime, man. There you go. I'm telling you, listen. And it was so crazy is it's like when you talk to people about that, they like literally have friends who make $250,000 for like he's been making it for 10 years now. And he started buying real estate because he's like, oh, I need assets. That's why that's why when people sit here and fight me about, well, who gonna flip burgers and who gonna be janitors? Who the cares? Not you. If you smart, not you. If it's your aunt and your uncle, so what? That's fine. But guess what? You need somebody in your family who's gonna do well, because guess what's gonna happen when things hit the fan? They're gonna look for you to live with. They're gonna look for you to come live at your house. There you go. Property tax is a fixed tax. Yep. I was one of those teens that got electrical training and auto mechanic and home ec while in high school in late 1979 to 1982 prepared me well for the military. Hey, no booty calls. No, none of that. None of that. It's just another YouTuber that lives here, and I'm like, yeah, it's what we doing, walking the strip out here? Yeah, it's wild out here right now. Y'all don't understand. It's 40 degrees right now. Thank you. Thank you. It's cold. I can walk around the dirty, smelly casino with all the cowboys out there. Why am I gonna do that? That's right. It's called a go bag. It's called a bug out bag, honestly. Get back. Listen, get back to do what you're supposed to be doing. Go comment on some pages. You know what you got to do. Listen, 600 plus to fill up a 400 gallon, depending on state. So my trucks are they have smaller 2 tanks. And that's been some of the complaint on my drivers is like, man, it's costing me so much to keep stopping for Erica's trucks. I'm like, yep. Listen, 640 trucking companies filed for bankruptcy versus 170 last year. Now, why? I mean, Kenny, I don't know if you saw the first part of the show, but a lot of people were taking those dumb predatory loans. Lots of predatory loans, trying to ride the 2018 boom. And so the loans just come due. That's just all there is to it. The loans are coming due and people can't float it anymore. That's what it is. That's all. Listen, Angela, see, people don't want to hear that because people don't want you talking about their kids. Okay? Your first teacher is supposed to be your mama and your daddy, but I'll just leave that alone. I don't want to get cussed out. With all the bankruptcies, if someone had the capital, should a person buy a bankrupt trucking company or start an owner operating? So one of the companies I actually work with, they bought a company from somebody that was 14 years old. The guy just wanted to go retire. Nothing was wrong with it. He was just done. He was like, okay, well, as soon as these loans is out, I'm done. And they were able to buy it off him. So, but why did they buy an old 14-year-old company? Because it's easier to get bank loans. It's easier to get credit, business lines of credit. I'll just put you on some game. A lot of the people that you see in some of these trucking industry, they do it so they can get money to go do other projects. It's point blank period. Point blank period. I can't tell you where I'm investing this year. That messes up the game. Florida's always an easy state to invest in. I'll just say that, though. Florida is one of the easiest to invest in. One of the easiest. If you're an electrician, I would just say save more money. Get ready to hire people. If you're an electrician, that's where the money is. So anyway, that was all I had to say about the trucking industry. And when it comes to downturns, you really got to look at, even though you see this number Kenny shared, thank you, Kenny, for sharing that. You got to pull behind the curtain on some of these stories of these guys and look at their books. Some of these people been, these books have been raggedy. And when I mean their books, I mean their accounting books have been not well for years, have been not balanced for years. I immediately tried to get an accounting company to take over everything from the gate so everything could match up. Numbers would be good, because I knew the rumors about how bad the trucking industry was because people would keep funky books. They were always waiting on payday, just like their employees, right? Like I know guys right now who will sell you their truck for $10K because they can't fix it. Now they really be like, look, can I keep driving my truck? I just need this repair on it, right? And they making money hand over fist, and they do not fix their truck. So they'll lose it just to repair. I remember this guy had his trucks in his yard. My uncle came by and asked to buy his tires off of him. And his friend said, what kind of crackhead sells tires off his truck? I mean, just, my uncle didn't care. He was like, it's been sitting in the front yard and he needs those tires. So again, the key here is focus on your business. And the best way to focus on your business is making sure, and if your business is trucking, making sure you have good drivers, quality drivers, you're getting loads, and you're with a good third-party company if you are like we were doing it. That's the end of it, right? Because the majority of y'all are gonna own 1 to 3 trucks. And so that means what? 1 to 3 trucks is $150,000 a year business, which is a good business. Don't get it twisted. Uncle Sam gonna want his tax money off that business too, but it's a good amount of money. Focus there. There is. So let me make this very clear. If you're not even buying in America, where it's bending over backwards easy for you to invest, what is your contingency plans for buying in other countries? Like, don't get it twisted. I invested in cacao and coffee in Panama and Belize, and I really want to go buy some land in Jamaica and Belize coming up soon, but I already have property here in America. My question always is, I'm not going to recommend someone go overseas to invest their money, especially in Africa, unless they plan on like really being there, boots on the ground, invested there, right? So that's my thing. That's right. That's true. Motivated sellers. Yep. Indeed.com. Easy. When you see companies hiring, look on Indeed.com, hiring owner operators. Get on the phone and call them. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have no time for any emails. Anything is a consult call. Like, I've done multiple videos on the YouTube video course. You can either do the YouTube course or don't do it. But next year it'll be about $4,000 to $5,000. I ain't gonna front on you. I'm not even gonna front on you. I mean, everything you need to see is here. If you're on the email list, we've sent out video after video of why the course is a good investment for you. So I'm not gonna front. Y'all wow. See, y'all don't know how to act right. It's time to get off the computer now. Y'all wildin'. All right, you guys, this is your girl Erica from the Classic Line blog. Thank you guys for being here. If the show helped you, drop a 1 in the comments. If the show was helpful for you, just give me a 1 in the comments so I know it was helpful. I really wanted to clear it up because I think it's important. So you guys are hilarious, really. So just drop a 1 in the comments so I know the show was helpful for you and it solved some questions. But again, the trucking industry, the sky is falling. Long term, over 10, 15 years, yeah, there's going to be a lot of changes because we have a lot of baby boomers going home and sitting down. But at the end of the day, if your city doesn't have a truck touch it in 3 to 6 days, your city will run out of food, gas, water, you name it. It's out. It hits the fan. It's like a hurricane came through and then there's no supplies. So trucking will always be here. It'll just be various forms, and depending on how many immigrants we keep enrolling in, depending on how many immigrants we keep rolling in here, y'all not gonna be driving these trucks. Guess you can't pass them hair tests. Can't pass that hair test. You not driving. Thank you. I'm gonna do testimonial. I'm gonna get a testimonial video. The course not even done yet. I'm gonna get a testimonial videos out of people. But again, people are currently enrolled. They already got their value out of the first 3 Q&As. Well, we only did 2 Q&As. This week is the 3rd. Again, it speaks for itself, right? Like it's a serious business. And so if you're a serious person, like it's for you. So thank you, Ron B. Thank you. All right, you guys, I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Glad it was informational for you. This is your girl, Erica from the Classic Climb blog. I'll be here in Las Vegas on the ground looking over the cannabis convention. I really want to go see the Grand Canyon, but we'll see if that can squeeze in here. I doubt it. But thank you guys for coming out tonight.